Social media managers with no portfolio or bad portfolio have a very low chance of getting a job or getting a client. The reason why is that before any client or brand hires you, they want to see that you are capable of handling their brand. And the only way to be able to convince them is by showing them a proof of what you have done as a social media manager. Also, recently, my agency was looking to hire a social media manager. So I had to be the one to sort through the portfolios. And when I was doing that, that was when I realized that so many social media managers either have a bad portfolio or they don't even have at all. And this thing actually made me emotional because as a social media manager, I really know that for you to be able to keep growing in your career, you really need to have a portfolio and a good one at that. And this is the reason why I'm making this video. So I'm going to be sharing with you the step-by-step guide you have to follow to be able to create your social media portfolio. If this is what you'll be interested in learning more about, make sure to watch this video to the very end. Hi, my name is Tiffany. I'm a social media manager. I talk about social media, business growth, freelancing, and how to make money in the online space. So if this is the kind of thing that will interest you, make sure to subscribe right now and turn on the post notification so you can be notified whenever there is a new post that will be very helpful to you. To get started, I'm going to advise you to download the app Canva. This is a design app that you're going to be using to create your portfolio. It has a free and paid version, and even if you don't have money to do the paid version, you can as well use the free version to be able to create your portfolio. Now, what you have to do is to download this app and then go on the app and type in social media portfolio. Once you have done that, Canva is going to suggest a lot of social media portfolio templates, so you can now choose the one that suits your taste. Now, let's quickly get into what you have to include in your portfolio as a social media manager. The first thing you have to include in your first slide is your introduction. This is the place you have to introduce yourself, talk about how many years you have been in the social media game, share any information you feel like is going to be valuable to them, anyone that is going to go through your portfolio. The second thing you should include is your work experience. This is where you share about all the experiences that you have gained as a social media manager, including the volunteer roles, internship, literally everything that you have experienced as a social media manager. You have to pour it into this slide and make it more detailed so it can be convincing. The third thing you should include in your portfolio is your mission and vision. Here is where you're going to be sharing your mission and your vision as a social media manager. This is going to help anyone going through your portfolio to understand that this is something that you really have vision for, something that you're passionate, and then they can be able to look through it and get to know your reason for even starting this career in the first place. The fourth thing you should include is your achievement. This is the place you have to start bragging. All of those things that you have achieved as a social media manager, make sure to include it in this particular slide. It's going to help convince anyone going through your portfolio that you are really the right person to be hired. So make sure to include all the achievements, everything you have legit achieved as a social media manager for your own good. The fourth thing you have to include is the brands that you have worked with. This is very essential. Anyone that is going through your portfolio wants to actually see the people that you have helped. You need to convince them that if you can help those people, that you can also help their brands. That is why it's very important for you to include the brands that you have worked with. So starting from when you were doing volunteer internship, make sure to list out all those brands that you have worked with. This is very important. The sixth thing that should be in your slide is the tools that you have used as a social media manager. This is the place that you now have to show off the tools that you can use. As a social media manager, we always use different tools to be able to work efficiently. So all those tools that you have already used and you're constantly using as a social media manager, make sure to list them out. Also include the logos and all of that stuff so that when someone sees it, they can really tell that this is the tool that you're talking about. So include as much as you can. It's also very helpful. Now, this part I'm about to talk about is very important. So you have to take it seriously, which is bringing us to the seventh thing you have to include in your portfolio. This is your skill. This is the moment you have to tell them what you are going to bring to the table, the skills that you have already acquired. Because the main reason why they are even hiring you in the first place is because of what you can do for them. Do you get me? So you have to be able to list out all the skills that you have as a social media manager. And now something I see so many people doing wrong, just like I told you previously, is that they include skills that are not necessary, like skills that does not position you as a social media expert. So you have to look at skills like content creation, automation, analytics and insights, community management. List out all those helpful skills so that anyone that is going through your portfolio can see that you actually know what you're doing and you have something to offer them, like you're bringing something amazing to the table. The end thing you should have in your slide is your services. This is the place you can now share the services that you're rendering, social media management, content creation, whatever it is that you're rendering, you have to include it in this particular slide. So anyone that is going through your portfolio can tell what they can expect from you and the services that you're rendering. So they can now decide on what services they will need from you. So make sure to include all the services that you're rendering in this particular slide. The ninth thing you have to include in your slide is your testimonial. This is a place where you now have to prove to them that all the skills that you possess, the brands that you work with, and literally everything you have mentioned before is really worth it, that those people actually love the services that you have rendered to them. It's going to convince anyone going through your portfolio that there are people that have already worked with you and they enjoy the process of working with you. Now it's going to be like an evidence you get. So evidence of someone expressing themselves, talking about how they really enjoyed working with you and how you solved their problem as a social media manager. So let's say you don't have a testimonial. You know that basically it's not every social media manager that has a testimonial. I'm going to suggest that all the brands you have worked with previously, that you can reach out to those clients and politely ask them for a testimonial. Trust me, it's not going to cost them anything and it's going to give you everything. So make sure to gather enough testimonial and include it in these slides. It's going to be very convincing. The third thing you have to include in your portfolio is certification. This is where you have to include all the certificates you have gotten as a social media manager. All those courses that you enrolled for, where you learned social media management. You have to gather all their certificates and put it in this particular slide. So anyone that is reviewing your portfolio can now see that you are not just a social media manager, that you are a certified social media manager. This is going to be backing up your claim as a social media manager. And that is why this is also very essential. Now, finally, the last thing you have to put in your last slide is contact you. Now you're going to be telling them what to do after swiping through your portfolio. You're going to instruct them to work with you. Make sure to include emails, your LinkedIn link, your phone number, so they can now decide on the way they want to use and contact you. The reason why I included adding your LinkedIn link is that most of these brands really want to see what you have going on LinkedIn because it's a professional platform. They want to see whether you are really what you say you are and all of that stuff. So it's going to add more spices to what you have already given them in your portfolio. So make sure to include that. Do you find this video very helpful? Let me know in the comment. And also, if you want to learn about how to become a social media manager, I'm going to be attaching a video to that is going to help you get started as a social media manager. So guys, if you made it to the end of this video, I celebrate you. I know that these tips are going to help you to build a standard portfolio as a social media manager. So if you find this video helpful, kindly subscribe and turn on the post notification so you can be notified whenever there is a new post that will be helpful to you. See you in my next video.